So first and foremost, as we've not done this in a little while, Will, tell me, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I am good, yeah.
The latest instalment of the running battle between Castagna and Smallbone ends up with the young Irishman on the floor.
He's just caught him on the follow through, and they can sort of stretch the medial ligaments. It can be a horrible injury, horrible feeling, very sickly feeling.
There's no good time for a long-term injury, but this was particularly bad time, having worked so hard to kind of force your way into that first team picture.
Well, it's never a good time to do your ACL and be out for such a long time, but especially for me after coming back, I think I had a few quad injuries and then got back in the team, and then on the first start back in the team to do my ACL is not ideal, and yeah, it was very tough. When you come through the academy, the end goal is to be in the first team, and then when you finally do get there, it's weird because obviously you're so thankful and proud of everything that you've done, but in a way the journey just starts.
Let's talk a little bit about other things then that were kind of going on at the same time, because this period coincided obviously with something else that you were forced to deal with.
Yeah, obviously alopecia is something that I've had to deal with over these last probably 2 years, because remember I first had a really small patch 2 years ago that no one would ever notice, and then in the Leicester game there are some photos the back of my head is obviously there's a bigger patch, and then now you see it is slowly coming back, but to lose it all was very tough. Like you say, alongside such a big injury, probably couldn't have happened at a worse time for me personally to have both of these things going on. Eventually it just started falling out from all sides really, and the best thing to do was, the doctors advised me, was to shave it, because otherwise eventually it's going to get down to that anyway.
And we've got that little tongue-in-cheek picture of you from Media Day that you tweeted out the other day.
Yeah, like you say, at the end of the day it is just hair, and I suppose where I'm in a situation where you'll be playing on TV and stuff like that, for other kids out there that deal with the same thing, is to show that it isn't the end of the world, and you just have to get on with things in life that sometimes they're thrown at you.
And in terms of support that you had kind of from the club, but also from friends and family, how valuable, I guess, was that to you having this really kind of positive mindset?
Yeah, no, they've all been great, especially my mum and my girlfriend, because they're the two people that were closest to me around that time, and were spending every day with me through the injury and then through the alopecia. It was great. And then at the club, I think the best thing people did was try not to treat it like too much has changed, because at the end of the day it is just hair, do you know what I mean? At the time they were great. No one ever made me feel like it was weird or it was something to be ashamed of. I know people say they always come out stronger, but I feel in every sense of the word, I feel like I have come out of this rehab stronger, in terms of I know that this is probably the lowest point that I can get to in terms of an injury and being out for so long.
Will, would there be any advice or guidance that you might offer to young people who might see this, might not know much about your story, but they might have shared the same kind of experience as you?
I think you just have to kind of embrace it. Obviously in life things are going to happen that you have no control over. Obviously in an ideal world I would not have lost my hair, or no one would lose their hair to alopecia, but I think there will be times when you're down from it, because obviously it's not normal as such. But I think if you can just be positive and think you've still got so many other things going for you, and in many ways there are people out there with things that are so much worse, and at the end of the day it is just hair. So the quicker you come to terms with it, the quicker you can just get on and enjoy your life again. I'd be lying if I said I was always positive about it, because obviously it's such a shock, and to go from having hair to not having hair is, in such a short space of time, is obviously quite a big thing to deal with. And there are many days where especially at the start, where it's quite a personal thing, and obviously you can speak to other people about it, but they don't necessarily understand it because it's not happened to them.
And what's next? Talk to me about the next chapter in the Will Smallbone book.
Well, hopefully my aim is just to get back into the first team squad as soon as possible, and just get back on the pitch really.
I think it's been, what, over a year since you've managed the full 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was literally just over a year, because I played with Ireland against Italy. It was my last 90 minutes, and then that is a big milestone that I wanted to hit personally, coming back from my injury, to get the 90 minutes out of the way, and to know that I can play a full game of football again is a good feeling, and to come through it feeling good is only good for me.